Okay, everybody, so welcome back. This is Ian from Mindful Marketplace in a tiny product lab. It's the 15th of January, 2026. And a couple people this week asked me about building directories and local authority sites. Is that still something that I recommend? And the answer is absolutely. And I'm going to show you some of the different ways that you can do that now really, really easily and ethically. I'm going to post some of this on YouTube as well. So if you're watching that here, you'll get a sense or a taste of at least how I think about this process in 2026. So again, just for some context, I did a lot of videos a couple years ago on building directories on WordPress and platforms like that, a little bit with Brilliant Directories and some other, sort of plugins and things like that. And in the meantime, I've also done, or more recently, I've taught the same process using Card and Framer. All those are still viable options, but something like this I think is much better, and I'm going to show it to you here. This is a simple sort of map software. It's called PamPam, and it allows you to really quickly build a map of local restaurants, local businesses, local people, products, platforms, really, really simply without a lot of, like plugins, without any software installation like WordPress or templates or, the kind of stuff that generally keeps people excuse me, procrastinating and not actually getting the project done. This is something that I built in 2024, it looks like, so about 2 years ago, for a South Jersey community that I was working on at the time with some other folks. We still actually have that project, but it's kind of somewhat dormant now. I'm not really focused on that in 2026. But all these are really, really easy to to edit and to add. So let's look really quickly. So this is I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I'm going to skip to another one. Let's go to Joe's Pizzeria and Bistro. Essentially, all you're really doing is adding elements to the map using these sorts of prompts below. You can also use AI. You can change the look of the maps really, really quickly. And most importantly, for my purposes, you can. So this is actually one area in South Jersey, right, in New Jersey, right? So if we go to Joe's Bistro, you can add, right? You can. This is where the place is located, and all this is actually filled out for you automatically, and you could actually link to their spot here as well, which I'd recommend. You can add buttons, which will add some conversion centric elements to your content. I'm not sure what type is here. I think it's either like people, place, etc. I also don't know what this is a new feature they have called Atlas. I don't know what that does. I actually pay for this tool. So I don't know why they're asking me to upgrade to make this available. I think it's an interactive AI driven, sort of prompt based thing where people can ask the map, where's a place, a pizza place that I can, find in XYZ town or community, neighborhood, etc. All right, so if I were to add a link here, let's just call it CNN. Right, so now if someone clicked on that, they'd be going to CNN, right? So, I mean, obviously you would be putting your or their URL in that spot. There's also other cool things you can do. You can add pictures, you can add like icons. Some of these I have, you can see, like I've created our own, icons for pizza, right? And upload them so I can assign these to the map, which is cool. There's all sorts of like little cool things that you can do. You can upload your own images. Again, I pay for this, so I'm not exactly sure, what is available in the free plan with respect to, like custom uploads and things like that. As you can see, there's custom map colors that apparently aren't available to me on my plan. They have a higher plan than the one that we're on. So, to me, that's irrelevant. I don't need that. But the real nice thing about all these sorts of maps is they're embeddable, right? So I can take something like this and I can share it, right? So I can actually either copy the link or I can copy the embed code. And the embed code, so I guess I'm on the business plan because I can do this, and it says you have to be on the business plan. So if you're not on the business plan, you may need to actually upgrade to get this functionality. But it's very useful because I can take this code and plop it down in a Notion document on another website. So let's say if I go here, here's one of our current projects, Trippy Therapy, and let's say I'm building a map of therapists, which is something we're doing in different areas, right? So in let's also call it South Jersey. Well, I could actually take that code and just dump it in a post that said, 50 therapists on the map in, Morristown, New Jersey, or Haddonfield, New Jersey, or Philadelphia, or whatever. And I'd have that interactive map literally on this site, which gives this particular community a much better, it just has a much more value driven appeal to folks that we're reaching out to, ask if they want to be part of this community, right? So it's all very, very simple marketing 101 style stuff. Let me see if I can go back to the home page for this app, and let's look at the inspiration. So you can actually see some of their featured maps. So this is a startup map, right? This is not theirs. This is, I guess, people who are using their tool to build their own maps. So let's say top startups in New Jersey. So this actually, you can get a really good sense of how this would benefit you, right? I mean, if you have a community of entrepreneurs, a community of dentists, a community of designers, a community of, you fill in your niche market, vertical, or industry here, you can actually see how useful this is, right? So this is I don't know who any of these people are. I'm just looking at the map, right? But it's a very, very cool way of offering value to a specific target market, right? In this case, startups, right? So I don't know how they're monetizing this, but you can imagine, being asked to be part of a community, and let's say it's $100 a year or whatever to be, listed as one of the, top 50 startups in New Jersey. People, it's a very simple value proposition that people like these folks here either, will choose to be part of, or they're not interested, right? So, this links to their project. All right, this is a pretty shitty website. I'm sorry to say. No offense, I hope. But let's go back here. That's me again. So let's just go to the general. Let's look at the inspiration tab again. A designer's guide to San Francisco. So there's a Figma event. And you can see, this is, restaurants and things like that are, I believe, my intuition tells me, are all for this one event. So there's an event taking place, and it's for Figma, and then this, is designed for designers, right, who are coming to San Francisco to go to the Figma conference. And that now you have all these restaurants and recommendations and resources for folks who are going to be in town for that weekend, for that event. Anyway, this is a simple example of how to actually do this. That looks like the Figma logo, and there you have it, right? So there's the link to their shindig, and it's all powered by this map. Okie doke. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. I'm going to actually share some strategies for how we're planning on monetizing this in 2026, especially for our mental health community. And if you're interested in that, leave me a comment, and I'll share more about where that content will be posted. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, and I appreciate you listening.